We all know the scene when the main character is in a hard situation, but suddenly locks in and succeeds immediately. Those scenes often annoy me a little. Yes, they look cool, but they are so unrealistic. If you couldn't do something a moment ago, then a motivational speech or inner monologue won't just magically allow you to do it. And we see the exact same thing play out in Witch Hat Atelier. Coco falls after trying to use the silk shoes for the first time, gets discouraged, and then looks at the sky and the bird and realizes how far she's come, and then she's. Um, Wait a moment. Let me check my script. Ah, yes. After this, she hears Kiefer's words in her head, motivating her, and she.
Running wild.
Huh? Uh. Oh, I see. The silk shoes were just a red herring. The actual moment isn't the boat. It even has her somewhat dead mother and everything. This is the moment when everything falls into place and. Witch Hat Atelier isn't your typical anime. Its entire premise is that you don't need to be born special and can achieve anything through hard work. The magic system itself is evidence of this. You don't need to be born with magical powers. Anyone can draw. The thing that determines how good of a witch you'll be is your determination and willingness to practice. There are no chosen ones here, no prophecies, no being special because of your parents. So it is very fitting that in this world of magic, our main character doesn't magically succeed. This is her first time using silk shoes. She doesn't even know how they work at first. So it is very natural and realistic that she wouldn't be able to fly immediately. Seeing that bird does give her motivation, but just motivation will not compensate for the lack of skill and experience. Kiefer's words, "you'll be running wild in no time at all," are true, but they don't mean immediately without any work. It is very refreshing to see that the character actually has to slowly learn the skill that they need to use. And I'm not talking about training arcs. We see them all the time. I'm talking about when a character needs to use a skill right here and now, but can't and have to slowly teach themselves on the spot. And even then, Coco fails. She manages to get into the air, which is already impressive, but she lacks the skills to get the diadem herb. It's like ice skating. If you have never stood on ice with ice skates before, then you will most likely fall. The most you might achieve on your first day is to skate in a straight line. And no motivation or determination or encouragement from others will allow you to immediately perform the insane tricks that professional ice skaters do. To have this situation portrayed realistically is very important and refreshing, because in real life, a good motivational talk won't magically make you good at something. It will help you continue doing it and work harder, but it won't do the job. Seeing other people, even if they are fictional, succeed by just believing in themselves can be soul-crushing, because your brain starts blaming you for not believing hard enough and for being a failure. Seeing Coco failing, getting up, failing again, getting up again, and trying different things is really motivating, I must say. And Witch Hat Atelier does not stop there. Coco starts doubting herself, saying that maybe you do need to be born special to be a witch. And then she looks at Tetia, Richa, and Agot and thinks that they have been drawing spells since they were children. This tackles two things: natural talent and the feeling that you're too old to start doing something. Natural talent does exist. There is no denying that. But it isn't the be-all end-all that a lot of people think. It's more like an EXP boost. With natural talent, it will be easier to achieve something. But you still have to work for it. If you don't, then a hardworking person with no talent can easily surpass the talented one. And now to the second point. It is never too late to start something. Yes, the people who started young will have an advantage, a huge advantage even. There is even a chance that you might never achieve their heights. But that doesn't mean that you won't achieve anything. The important thing is actually starting and not giving up. You might come last in a race, but you will never reach the finish line if you don't start. And that's way worse than coming last. But Witch Hat Atelier gives another layer to this point. Use the skills that you already have. There will always be situations where you physically cannot learn something on the spot. But that doesn't mean you should give up. Adapt the skills that you already have to the current situation. Coco might not have been drawing spells her entire life, but she has been working with fabrics and clothes, which involves drawing. The first time I saw the spell Coco drew, I couldn't help but chuckle. She worked the entire night, and in the end, it looked so simple. But then I realized that that is the point. Realistically, that is the absolute best she could have drawn. She's drawing in the night on fabric that isn't even placed on a flat surface. You try drawing a single straight line with conditions like these. What she drew was simple, but it was drawn excellently. I expected her to draw something super complex, but this is better. This is something Coco, with her current skills and her current situation, could realistically draw. And that's way more impressive than something complex that came out of nowhere. For example, people are still to this day clowning on the scene in the Hunger Games. So, Coco finishes her spell, and surprise, surprise, the spell doesn't work as intended. Because sometimes it doesn't matter how hard we try, or even if we do everything perfectly. Unpredicted scenarios can happen, but they aren't always bad. Coco's spell didn't work as intended, but it led her to something even better. There was no way she could have steered a flying boat like that, but something like this is a completely different matter. I thought for sure that this was it, that Coco would effortlessly get the diadem herb at this point, and in the manga she does. But the anime decided to take it a step further. Just like with the silk shoes, realistically, Coco shouldn't be able to fully control her contraption immediately. Most importantly, that thing has no brakes. So, picking a single flower while going at those speeds is extremely difficult. I don't think any of us could do it on the first try, and the anime shows it. During her first attempt, Coco hits the ground. It is the first time she's using this contraption, so steering it will obviously be hard. On the other attempts, she already learned from her mistake and no longer collides with the ground. But getting the diadem herb is still no easy task. She also hits another flying orb of ground while she is distracted, which is a very natural thing to do in this situation, and makes the entire thing feel more realistic. And I absolutely adore her last attempt. We see her trying to grab the head of the first herb, but it moves out of the way. Then Coco closes her hand too soon on the next one. After that, Coco hits her arm on a rock, showing how close to the ground she has to fly at these speeds, and that even the task of picking the herb is dangerous. And above all else, it shows her determination. Going this fast and hitting your arm like this, anyone's first instinctual reaction would have been to withdraw the arm. But Coco doesn't. Right after hitting the rock, she immediately goes for the next herb and finally gets it. And after showing us how important it is to not give up and keep trying, the show reminds us of the most important thing. Your well-being is more important than anything else. Yes, it is important not to give up, but your life is above any test. I just love that Kifri doesn't even mention Coco passing the test. He just tells her that she didn't have to endanger herself, because she is already his apprentice. And that is why I love Witch Hat Atelier. Usually, I can predict what happens in a show very well, but with Witch Hat Atelier, every time I think I know something, it puts its unique spin on it, and makes it even better. Thank you for watching! I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have video ideas, please drop them in the comments below. I usually talk about anime on this channel, but I can also make videos about movies or series. Anyways, see you in the next video. Bye!